Today we have been a bit delayed. As you know, we modified the program, so we don't have to start immediately. So without further ado, I am going to invite to the stage Nick Kassar, the Deputy Director of the Sanction Center. He will present himself and he will tell us more about the center and what the center is dealing with and how we are going to plan to work with the center via Ioris. So please, Nick, the floor is yours. But before we do the slide.
Sure. Thank you, Alex. Before I understand, there's a Slido, so we'll do that. The technical people in the corner who make this magic happen. In front of you all this morning appears the first number of questions. Is your organization concerned about sanctioned and falsely flagged vessels? So if I could ask you all to go through the bothersome procedure of logging in all over again and remembering the details. So there are 4 questions. And question number 1 is your organization concerned about sanctioned and falsely flagged vessels? Sanctioned and falsely flagged vessels.
Recording in progress.
And question number 3. Do you think Ioris can support your organization in addressing sanctioned and falsely flagged vessels? And it would seem my job here is to convince the 13% that are unsure that yes, it can. So the third question, do you think Ioris can support your organization in addressing sanctioned and falsely flagged vessels? And the fourth last question, is your organization linked to the Global Center for Maritime Sanctions Monitoring, which is a long name? Is your organization linked to the Global Center for Maritime Sanctions Monitoring? 42% yes, and I have to convince the remaining people in this room that you should be. Okay. Distinguished guests, admirals, generals, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity to be here today and to introduce the Global Center for Maritime Sanctions Monitoring. It's a very long name, and the joke is that by the time you say the name of our organization, the ship we're looking at has already left the port and arrived at the other end. So we call it the Spinola Center, the significance of which I can explain briefly as well. So I got 2 jobs to do here today. Some of you are not aware of the center, and seeing that the good lady with the minutes card isn't there, I'm going to introduce quickly, use a tactical strategic advantage of explaining what the center does, and also how we work and the relationship, strong relationship we have with Ioris and Cremario. So this is us. It's an international organization. It's an agreement between, initially it was between Malta, Antigua and Barbuda. Now we've also got Marshall Islands and Liberia. These are part of the executive committee. Small countries, less bureaucracy, less bureaucracy. We move much, much faster and into agreements. The Global Center for Maritime Sanctions Monitoring. If I can ask you no pictures, please, of this slide. This is recent, as in last night. This paints the picture that we should all be concerned and thinking about. These are sanctioned and false flag vessels across the world as we speak. And this is what the picture we paint on Ioris. So all of a sudden you're sitting there thinking, yeah, where is my country? Where's my area of operations? Where are we interested? And sure enough, possibly at this point in time, if I can ask no pictures, sir, thank you. Flashbacks of people keeping people disciplined. This is what it looks like. This is today's image. So a bit of shock and awe to start off my presentation instead of the classic old dad joke. State of play. You may have met me last year in Cebu. We were a new organization. We're now only 16 months old. We're still gradually developing. However, I think we've done a lot in the 16 months. SOPs, infrastructure is in place. We have an ops room or a situation room. We have a wall of knowledge. We have funding to reach initial operational capability. We've co-hosted some conferences locally in Malta. Did I tell you we're based in Malta? And the building over there, that's where we're meant to be. We're meant to be living in this, or housed in this 16th century palace. Not yet, but it will happen one day. We have subscriptions to various MDA systems and open source platforms. So we are a small team. And what we do is we try to provide you, individuals who are on the Ioris, we try to provide you the actionable intelligence or information or actionable data regarding sanctioned vessels. Sanctioned vessels. That's 5 minutes. You just came. How come? No, sorry. 8 minutes starts now. I'm just joking. You're quite right, madam. So what we do is we look at sanctioned vessels. UN sanctioned vessels, not enough to go around. We wanted to work harder. So we looked at EU sanctioned vessels. We look at UK sanctioned vessels, every sort of sanctioned vessel we can think of. Sanctioned vessels then brought another problem, which is false flags. So we're looking at false flag vessels. We're looking at false IMO numbers. And then we're looking at zombie vessels. So we're gathering all this information and we put it into our database. This is what it looks like, and we have a very basic database, 2,100 vessels of interest, split between those that are sanctioned to the left, those which are false flagged zombie vessels or vessels of interest, or not yet sanctioned vessels in the yellow over there. This is the information that we retain in our database. However, this database is a bit boring to look at. A picture paints 1,000 words. Ioris helps us paint a picture of 2,100 sanctioned vessels at the touch of a button. It's useless we keeping that information. Information is only valuable when shared, so we like to share it as well. Where do we share it? We are in this community. These are the communities we are in to date. Indian Ocean Hub, South Pacific, Latin America, some JICAs, THICAs, ship registries. We have a community with ship registries. So we're not just talking to maritime authorities like yourselves, but we're also speaking to ship registries, and I can come back to that a bit later on as well. On the other side, we speak and work with the United Nations as well. United Nations VIM, which is a vessel inspection mandate based in Djibouti, looking at shipping going into Yemeni ports. I've got a slide about that. A panel of experts, UN panel of experts, we assist them as well and cross-check information with them. UANI, which is United Against Nuclear Iran, we have the vessels in our database. And what we would like to work with, or who we would like to work with, is EU NAVFOR, IRINI, Atlanta, and Aspides as well. We believe we can contribute and give you and paint a picture of sanctioned and false flag vessels in operational areas. If you're not an Ioris, don't worry, we speak to you as well down there. How does it happen? Well, How does it happen? It's a daily monitoring progress process, which I'm sure many of you have conducted themselves or are aware of. Fact checking all the time. Look at the identity, look at the behavior, and look at the patterns of life, look at gaps and anomalies. We'll go through it systematically, methodically, and you'll notice so far I haven't mentioned the word AI. This is HI, this is human intelligence, not AI. We will get there in the end. Once we confirm the details, and then once we're happy and satisfied, then we will post on Ioris. How do we do it? Well, top left, simple crosshair, the old style crosshair will tag a vessel. So you may have seen sometimes you get a little message in your area of operation or in your hub and GCM, SM, and you go, who are these guys? Now, those are the guys with a really long name in Malta. They are the individuals who have tagged this vessel. Why? Because it's sanctioned. Why? Because it's suspected false flag. And then it's really up to you to extend or to come back to us, private message or email or through Ioris. And if we have any information, we can definitely provide you a storyboard. And if we have other additional information, which is explanatory information or even possibly predictive, we'll write a report, a nice report, and also upload it on Ioris. So this is the way we do dissemination through Ioris. Case in point, what we're doing with UN VIM in Djibouti. Vessels have got to report, any vessel going to the Houthi controlled ports of Hodeida and Ras Isa have got to report, or obliged to report to the UN Vessel Inspection Mechanism. They report to UN VIM, they apply, UN VIM gives us the names, and we'll filter through the vessels. They're a small team there, and we'll filter through the vessels and give them a nod if we think this is a vessel of interest, high interest, medium interest, low interest. And to date, since January, we've done this process for 150 vessels as well. We have a tempo, operational tempo, where we're constantly indicating vessels of interest, vessels that don't report, vessels that have reported but didn't go into ports and went elsewhere. If we can track them and monitor them, we let UN VIM know what is going on. I mentioned flag registries. Flag registries is very important. We felt that we need to work closely with flag registries. There's some education on our part, we had to learn about them, and some education from their part. They had to appreciate what we're doing as well. This is one case in point with the Comoros, who we work very well with. We noticed there was a vessel, a Varda Blessing, who was a zombie ship, was utilizing an IMO of another vessel that had been scrapped in 2017. We informed the authorities, they got back to us and said, thank you very much, we weren't aware of this, and we will take action, and I believe they did. So this is what we do on Ioris, this is what we tag, this is how we share information, and these are case studies, quite recent case studies. Ship registries, again, this is a ship registry community. We're looking at this, we're looking at developing it. These are the countries we're speaking to. These are the countries that on occasion have come back to us and said, we are considering these vessels, what do you think? Do you have any information? Do you have any history, any vessel history? And likewise, we will reciprocate with, as best we can with the information we have. Right, very important. What are we doing with Cremario? This is, we live off Ioris. This is how we paint the picture. This is how we disseminate the information. It's situational awareness, the vessel tagging. This is a daily routine from a small team. There's just 6, 7 of us in the situation room. We now understand each other's gestures, and we understand when someone's going to get an additional task without talking. It's a small team. We're very happy. We're developing. We're reaching out to these communities. We're working with navies, coast guards, fusion centers, maritime authorities, shipping registries, and in the future, any other maritime authorities or any other entities involved in the maritime world where we can verify facts regarding sanctioned shipping, false flag shipping, zombie vessels as well. This is something we put together. This is 32, however, it has now expanded to 37. Over the past 16 months, every sort of incident that we've seen regarding sanctioned or false flagged vessels, we've jotted it down. So a vessel has a false flag. A vessel has a false flag and changes a false flag. A vessel has a false flag and suddenly overnight becomes a registered official flag. A vessel has a false flag and a genuine IMO number, etc., etc., etc. So this also helps us guide or understand the what sort of incident we might be looking at with the vessel, and we say, oh, this could be a number 16 or number 12, or was a number 10, is now developing into a number whatever. This isn't updated. There's a few others. Just recently, a colleague of mine also found a vessel with an IMO of a vessel that is still being built in another shipyard. So, so that gives you some idea of how complicated it can be, but not impossible. Not impossible because we're going through the system bit by bit, slowly, methodically. It takes time, yes, but what is important is that we share this information. Information is useless in our little, keeping it in our database. The power of that is to expand it and disseminate to all of you. Challenges. Speaking to you over the past 2 days, I hear the same challenges and we share the same challenges. Staff, we need additional analysis. The database, on the back of yesterday's discussions about AI, yes, I think at some point in time we need to create the mother of all databases. We need to sit down with some clever technical people who can lift all the information from all the sites and all the platforms that we're utilizing. We have to somehow program in all those 32, 36 facts that we've seen and create something that saves time because it will then give us a very good idea of what's out there and who do we need to tell about it. So the game here is to place the vessel of interest in a strategic dilemma. It may have passed through your port or maybe off your shores. It may have done this once, twice, but all of a sudden with you asking questions about, can I see your paperwork? Can we do a document? Are you a sanctioned vessel? Eventually we convince the vessel to move away. Place the vessel of interest in a strategic dilemma where it has to change its pattern and where it no longer feels comfortable passing through certain routes. The database, again, yeah, we need to involve AI-enabled automated database, although I promise you, not being very technical myself, there'll still be an element of human intelligence involved as well. Verification. Theo from Skylight, you're always saying you need human intervention as well. You need to, and I thoroughly agree, and having spoken to many of you as well, AI is great, but there needs to be the human element as well. If we can combine the two together, definitely we can paint a better picture. The lady saying for a few minutes. Very good. I promise I'm finishing off. MDA systems, this is where we need to improve as well. It's all very well putting a crosshair on Ioris. However, everybody loves a nice, clear, crisp satellite image of a ship-to-ship transfer. We can't do that all the time or every time. At the moment, we'd like to develop that capability as well in the future, as well as RF detection capability in the future. We're working on that. The budget, we have a very modest budget. I always say we have a very boring Christmas party. It's a cup of tea and some biscuits. Why? Because all the budget is going to keeping this rolling and keeping the information output, putting the information out there and sharing the information with all of you. Okay, the takeaway is this. If you didn't know about us, now you do. There's a small organization, there's another set of eyes out there, and we're there for you, and we share everything through Ioris. And any information we have, any research, any analysis we can do regarding a vessel, we will share with you on Ioris. It's rules-based, obviously, UN sanctions, transnational crime. On occasion, we see something that doesn't involve sanctioned or false flag vessels, but we certainly don't turn a blind eye. If it looks like transnational crime, we'll inform whichever authority we have contact with. It's cost-effective. There's no subscription. We're not asking for money. If you're on Ioris, you get this as well. All we need is your contact details, or you need our contact details, and we start talking and communicating, old school. We are the nexus between the more powerful states and the global south. we're based in a small country. We come from small navies and maritimes and militaries, so we know what it's like. So we're just a helping hand out there. We look at port, flag, coastal states of lesser developed states. We do due diligence if required. We paint this situational picture. And we continue to monitor vessels of interest across the globe. I believe that's it. Thank you, sir, for distracting the lady with the cards again. And that is what the Global Center for Maritime Sanctions Monitoring is all about. Please feel free to approach me throughout the day and the remaining days. My business cards, about that much I brought, so they're getting smaller because I'm giving them to everybody. Please reach out on Ioris. Thank you very much for your time. I believe, yes, there is another, I'm going to inflict another slide upon you. Would you like your organization to be linked to the Global Center for Maritime Sanctions Monitoring? Yeah, that's the result. Thank you very much. I owe you all a beer. This is what we like to see. That's it? Oh, it's going. Okay, the gremlins are working overtime this morning as well. Job done? Okay, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I now welcome to the podium Mr. Eli Saya from EU Crimario. Mr. Eli will be leading the conversation on what Crimario has been working with and is proposing concerning the useful statistics that can be extracted from the Ioris platform. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Eli.
Good morning. So we have 20 minutes together to discuss the statistics within Ioris. That was something that you guys approached us about. You were asking us every time that we would like to extract from our community area how many members are active, how is the community areas graphing going? Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? How many members do we have? How many messages have we sent, etc. The only report extraction that was available in Ioris was the PDF extraction of all the messages, replies, alerts, tagged VOIs, etc., which is we call right now the report extraction. But we did not have any statistical extraction from Ioris or any statistical reports that we could extract from the platform globally or from a specific community area. So that's why now we're coming with this proposal of Ioris statistical framework. The current situation, existing statistics focus mainly on short-term operational snapshots. And as you can see here down, this is, for example, a stat. These are the statistics of the Indian Ocean Hub. It only shows that there is 201 members in the Indian Ocean Hub. It shows how many messages has been sent, how many documents has been sent, and all these numbers are in the last 24 hours, not customizable to further or longer than 24 hours, not customizable to how it evolved with the time, in which months, which week, which period of the year the number surged, and which period it decreased. So there is no insights at all or visibility at all on how the community area evolved with the time. And the reporting often requires manual compilation. Why? Because if you want, as an area administrator, to report the total number of area members, you'll have to go to the area admin and you have to go to access control and extract the lists manually. Now, the guiding principles of our proposal are 4. One is operational confidentiality, which means that whatever information we would like to propose to extract from Ioris, it has to be confidential. And it has to abide by the GDPR and applicable privacy requirements, which is mostly focusing on data protection and personal data protection. So an extractable statistics will have to be anonymous and aggregable. Trust, maintain confidence of participating organization and user. And 4, strategic value, generate meaningful insights without exposing operational context. Meaningful for you, for the area administrator of each community area, for us as generators of Ioris and developer of Ioris, but at the same time without exposing any operational content of what is inside a community area. So here I'll show you like a difference. What is operational data and what is statistical data? Everything in red is operational and will not be at all included in any report or any statistical extraction from Ioris. Message content or message generator, documents exchange and documents content. Users communication via chat, via replies, via alerts, or via markers or anything on the map. Operational interactions with all the Ioris features that are available in any community area and all the Ioris features that will come in the future. And any information linked to identifiable users. These are operational data and they will not be included in any statistics or any extractable statistics. Now on the right-hand side, we have the aggregated user accounts. User counts means, like for example today, 6,400 users are using the Ioris training platform. Out of 6,400 users, how many are active? How many accounts has expired? How many accounts must be renewed, etc. Activity trends. The activity trend shows the last activity of all the users. When was your last login? Just like if you know on WhatsApp, it shows, it's called last seen, exactly. So similar to the last seen, it's called in Ioris last activity. And this last activity can be analyzed by the statistics to show the trends. When are the people mostly active? During what time of the day? During what time of the month or what time of the week? Login statistics. When did we have also the largest number of logins? At what time? At what period of the day? What period of the week? Community growth indicators. When we create a community area, like a regional community area, it starts always small. It starts with 2 or 3 countries. Later on, more countries will get involved, will get interested in joining the community area, just like we were talking yesterday about regional community areas for fishing, for example, or regional community areas for search and rescue. It always starts small with few people, few regions interested and involved, and then it grows. When it grows, we want this growth indicator to be available for you and for the area administrator of the community area. And 4 anonymized performance metrics. Same thing here, but this is more for a platform level. A global performance metrics showing the uptime of the platform, if it ever had any downtime or any outages, and what were their outages linked to. So we can relate any outages to any global incidents happened, like the one that occurred 3 months ago when, what was it called? There was an outage in an IT service worldwide, which was a cloud service, and it affected Ioris for about 10 minutes. And it affected Microsoft, it affected all the big IT providers. So this is something that can be seen in the performance metric. So now, what statistical data could be used? One, total of all users, total number of chat messages, total number of documents and forms, total number of markers, total number of active users, and total number of community areas. This is what is available right now in Ioris for the last 24 hours. What we are proposing is an enhanced analytical feature, which will show a time filter for all the information just mentioned in the slide before, but now for a weekly, a monthly, a yearly, and a custom period. So for example, we can check before the steering committee how many members were, how many active users there was before the steering committee. And then a week after the steering committee, for example, when the high-level meetings are done, we can check again what is the difference in active users numbers. What has the high-level meeting, for example, helped us or supported the activeness of the users in each of the organizations. So it gives us a better insight, and it helps us understand the performance over any time frame. The trend analysis. One, historical evolution. Most important for us as Cremario is how it changed before version 4 and in version 3. For example, we want to really know how the evolution of the platform, how did it increase after the development and the release of version 4 of the platform in last May 2025. The growth indicator, as discussed earlier, and comparative statistics. So here it will help us also take smarter decisions, and it will help us also guide the development and the evolving of the platform. Reporting tools, dashboard visualization, similar like this dashboard, but it's going to be more interactive, and CSV export and PDF export. So we can export the information within the statistics, be it on a global level for system administrators of Ioris or an area level for area administrators of Ioris. They can extract the statistics in CSV or in PDF format. That can be used also to attach into reporting or into anything that you might need for your archive. So what about community areas statistics? Now we talked about global statistics already, it is done, and that is something that the system administrator will be able to do. The system administrator is a team of 4 experts available all the time, and these are the team member who reply when you send a request for support, the system administrators. Now, what about community area statistics? And this is how it looks like. For example, this is a community area that I use for testing, and it shows statistics under the area admin tools. At community area level, area administrators will have access exclusively to aggregated statistics related to their own data only. So exactly the same stats, the same proposal that we are proposing for the global admin, for area administrators, they will have access to the same type of information and same type of statistics, but only related to their own area. So if a global admin sees 3,000 total users of Ioris, an area admin will see, for example, 17 total users of his own community area. This is the framework proposed. It's a 2-pager only. It has been shared with you via email before attending the steering committee before your travel. It is called the read-ahead paper for the proposed framework for Ioris statistics. And before I end, we want to have an open discussion with all of you if you think that we forgot about something related to statistics, because again, I say this was generated by your requests. You were asking us that all we can do as area administrators is go to area admin, click on statistics, and have a screenshot. And a screenshot was not enough. So please remind us if we forgot anything according to the presentation I just delivered. Oh, Alvino, have a microphone. So please down to Alvino and one to Martin, please.
Thanks. Good morning, all. Nice to see you here. Hope you had an enjoyable evening, and a big thank you to Expertise France or Letitia for organizing. A great party as always. So I just want to underline one important factor to remove any doubts you may have. Neither EU Cremario nor the European Union has access to any of your operational data when you are exchanging amongst yourselves. That is not possible, not technically possible, okay? And I just want to remove that doubt away from your heads. What we're talking about is volumes of particular statistical data which will help us improve the way we work by assessing trends, seeing trends, and that's about it. So I just wanted to make that point absolutely clear, so there is no doubts in your heads. Over to the floor in case you have any questions. This paper will be endorsed tomorrow, hopefully, in the closed session, full members only. That's where it will hopefully be endorsed. Ioris.
I'm sorry, Ioris. There was Alvino before, so Alvino, please.
All right. Thanks, Ali. I'm interested in the statistics. So in the past PFC, we used to pull the metrics for the statistics of like messages sent, and usually in the past way that it went, like if I posted a message and people were responding to that message, it was also reflected in the statistics. But and then we'd pull the metrics for that for our monthly reports. But when the acknowledge button was introduced, and so instead of people responding and then it's showing that they're reacting with the messages, they're just acknowledging it. Yes, we can go and see who else acknowledged, but we're not pulling the metrics for that anymore. So, but if people react to or respond to that message that we posted, it shows in the statistics. But if they're just acknowledging it, it's not showing. So, will there be something that can, so that we can get the metrics for that also?
Very, very valid point. And you're right. We forgot about that. So now, just to explain it quickly, what Alvino is talking about, a message sent through Ioris can require acknowledgement. The request for acknowledgement is a little button on the right-hand side of the message, and other members of the community area can just click on the button, and that will be Alvino informed that those members acknowledged his message. But that was not reflected in the statistics, and that is still not yet reflected even in this proposed framework. So that can be amended later on. So maybe we can include a way that acknowledgement a count of acknowledgement in each community area, still be statistics, still be general, but better than nothing, right? Thank you. Yes, Mr. Younis?
Yeah, thank you, Ali. Mine is just concerned about the community area. For instance, if you look at the geographical area, some of the community areas activities might overlap one into another. For instance, in the case of the Western Indian Ocean platform, which is a dedicated community area for SAR activities, and look at the ROHA. Some of the ROHA countries may need assistance from other countries, which
people aware of where we're going with this and discuss it in the course of the coffee break and when you're on your enjoying yourselves this afternoon.
Recording in progress.
The paper sets out that we get involved in non-directive guidance. You've got to be familiar what we mean by non-directive guidance. The paper expressly prohibits EU personnel from recommending prepared tactical operations. That is not our job. We could do it, but you have sovereign rules over your area, not us. It will suggest to you a 5-step operational network. And the idea is that this paper should be reviewed and agreed here. And then it steps forward into providing operational support. So the Room paper sets out some operational principles, what we mean by non-directive advice versus guidance. You people who sign the Ioris partnership agreement have absolute sovereignty over your community area. Sovereignty over your GICA, not us, okay? But with your invitation, your experts in Comario can be members of those community areas. And I reinforce it continually with the people in Somalia. You can remove me at any time you want. You can invite me to your community area, but you can then remove me. Okay? These are the crucial decisions that you've been asked. And the idea is to review it. Okay, next step. Next slide, please. Okay, I put this slide up, and apologies, Martin, I want to make the point in this. I have a long experience in law enforcement, okay? I joined the police as a police officer in the year 1979. 1979, I joined the police. During that time, also I have conducted many operational roles. One of those operational roles, I had the privilege of being a member of NATO working in Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, look at those people who here served in Afghanistan. Okay, we'll have a few hands shown, okay? In Afghanistan, the term was training, advising, and assist. Okay, very important. It came under UN Security Resolution to train, advise, and assist. Actually assist the Afghan forces in going forward. Advice, I tell you, I give you recommended legal advice as to what you do. Now, if you give legal advice, you're legally liable for what you say. Train on Ioris. If I understand this correctly, is what has been said here is up until now, Comario is involved in training. Okay, we train on the training platform. We give you access to an operational platform. We're not involved. This is one step where we step from the training platform into the operational platform. And we provide you not advice, but guidance. Understand me? Okay, so bear in mind, here we are, EU Comario. Now, in the room here, we have EU NAVFOR. Where are we? Okay, not in uniform, I cannot see them. EU NAVFOR are mandated by a Security Council resolution to do action. And the Admiral is here, and I will not put him on the spot, but they have got a legal mandate to take particular action, just as we have the representation of CMF 151. Okay, they can assist. They're mandated. They can go beyond training, and they can actually take action. We are not. Same with the Speedies who are not represented here. Let us just recall ourselves. EU Comario, and I think it was a suggestion coming from my Somali Navy commander, Brigadier General Dora, he was reminding who we actually are. We are an EU project, that's what we are. And our job is capacity building. We do not exercise operational command. Let's be clear, okay? Let those thoughts fall, yeah? We are capacity building a project. Next slide. Okay, I'll put this up here, linking back to the paper that was produced. Okay, here we see, again, simply what we're proposing. EU support the live operations. I take you back to Manila. In Manila, we heard the word operational. We heard the word advice. We cannot give advice. What we can do is clearly here is to explain in Ioris the training, tactical procedures, the TTPs. We can do that. We can show you how to create markers, VOI, lexicons, overlays, NDA analysis. Okay, we can train. We can train. That's very clear. When we see you, and if you invite us in your operational areas, we can see what you're doing. We want to be able to give you options, give you guidance on what you may decide to do next, not advice. We cannot recommend advice, legal options. You know, we tell you, we advise you that the ship that you're in, the ship is in your territorial waters, and here's the legal requirements you should do, right? No. We suggest to you, we talk to you, and we give you the messages that to give you guidance on it. We cannot give you real time, and I think it was it was my colleague from the Spinola Center said that we cannot work on real actionable intelligence. Okay, I might well have it. I might well have it because I am who I am, and people talk to me and give me actionable intelligence, but that is for you, okay? I may know it exists. I may know it exists, and I might give you guidance. I suggest that you should speak with this person here, CMF 151, up Atlanta LNO. Yeah? And I think you should just send a message. I guide you to do this. Then, because I can see that some people are not talking to other people. We give guidance. Of course, the last one is particular thing. We do not participate in execution decisions, commanded decisions of what you do. Okay, that is what the paper says. And it clarifies for you in the room the step change that EU Camaro is saying, that we move from training to operational, and we give you guidance. Okay? That's what you've been asked to think about and agree to. Next slide. Okay, so here we have the words that I'm using here found in the paper. EU Camaro may provide non-binding operational guidance. We can explain to you maritime tactics, procedures, because we have that expertise. We can present the feasible operational options. We consider that you should look at this. We can give you visual, verbal, and manual instructional support. All these things currently are in the, I got 5 minutes and then I got 10 minutes conversation, okay? All these things are in the training platform, but we want to take it through the operational platform. Support the operational planning process. Next one, provision of situational information and graded intelligence. For example, we may be aware that Spinola Center has a particular vessel of interest that they're looking at, but you're not seeing it in your current operational area. We may be able to actually push you and say, you should look at this particular issue. Same way too, again, the expertise that we have from the Search and Rescue Council and Search and Rescue, okay? There is guidance that they can give you in a particular event. We may say you have an OPCA created for Search and Rescue, but you do not yet have the member of the Search and Rescue Council in your OPCA. We would guide you to do that. We can only do that if we're in that operational space, not the training space. Understand me? Okay, and we can, again, continue to give us assistance in the functions of communications, and we will do that through the technical support that was already said. And we can give you, if we see your operational space, we can give you some sort of assessment back to your command level and your chief level of actually how well each of your operational areas are actually doing. Again, I'm repeating, only if you invite us into your operational space. Okay. Okay, all these things have to be in red. Okay, they're much guided by the rule of law. They're guided by the partnership agreements, which you've all signed. Okay, and those who will be signing the IPA, and therefore it sets out the clear boundaries that we are going to be involved with, or suggesting. Okay, next slide. Okay, again, reaffirming this is printed here, that we are prohibited from recommending tactical options, issuing operational direction, participating in executing decisions, directing opposite assets, or any issue of command and control. I'd like to be in charge because I used to be once upon a time, and it's kind of frustrating when you like not getting involved anymore. Okay? National sovereignty and operational ownership remains paramount. Okay? The operational sovereignty of the Somali, of Puntland, of Somaliland, of Mogadishu remains paramount. We do not interfere. We just give you guidance. Okay, next slide. Okay, here we are. Okay, here we are. There's a model. This takes the 5-step. And you've seen this kind of pattern before. At the middle, everything we do is guided by your own values. Okay, your own principles. Irish Partnership Agreement, IPA agency, maritime mission values. You know the fact that in Somali waters, which I'm saying, there is a duty that falls upon the people of the Somali people to look after, protect their waters. It comes from Allah, from God. Okay, it comes the fact that you have a duty to respond. You know this. You've said this to me many times. Many times. It's the same thing extends across all your waters. You have a duty to protect your seafarers. Okay? Whatever faith, whatever God you have, you must act. That's why we're here. We're here to party, but we're here to work. So, at the middle, everything you do must always come back into here. So, again, anything I do, I guide you through what information and intelligence you should understand. Same thing. You make the threat and risk assessment a working strategy. You consider what powers are actually available through your powers and agencies. You identify the tactical options, and you action review. At any time, you enter this decision-making model. And that is all. Anytime I would see you in an operational area, you have to come down to this. Okay, next slide. Okay, here we have. I say this in total confidence. When you're a commander, as long as you follow these principles, and any guidance is given that outlines these principles, no one can criticize you. No one. That gives you freedom to make decisions in uncertainty. Nobody's certain of how a situation is going to end up. You must always prioritize the well-being of what is happening. You must balance your operational risk-taking. Know the harm can never be fully eliminated. There's always external influencing. You must follow your own professional judgment. And I see people nodding here, okay? You must always have a learning culture of taking risk. And you must have a reliance on quality information and you must always support the people who make decisions. You follow those 10 principles, no one's going to criticize you. So therefore, any guidance, I will be guiding you against those principles. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, I'm going to run out of time here because you're in the coffee break. But here we have, again, all in the model I showed, it takes you through that step guidance, where you step one, where you're going to ensure, and when we're watching the operation area, we're guiding you that the fact that you've identified the right information. Step one. Step two, you identified the threat assessment. Next slide. Step three, you've identified the powers and policies. We will guide you, we'll watch you if you invite us. Step four, that you're using the right tactical options. Step five. Next slide, sorry. Step five, okay, here's the purpose. Going back to the room paper, okay, we must have a learning culture. Tactical options, how you organize yourself, what decision records were made, what reassessment, okay? And again, what we have here, once we've done an operational an outcome, we must take the lessons from your operation and put it into, so tell me to stop here now, so into the Ioris curriculum and the Marco 3 development going forward. This conversation requires more time. Well, I'm saying we're going to do a coffee break. I want you to think about it. And with the timekeeping, we need to be able to have a discussion about where you're going to let us step forward. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Here we have the model, again, reinforcing. And I think that's it, finish. Okay, yes. Here we have the questions. Here you see the policy being currently written, okay? It's in draft. Before we finalize the ink and send it to you for discussion, you need to think about this in your groups and then come back, and then time will be allowed for discussion, I'm suggesting. Okay, I see the red flag is up for stop, and I hand over to Martin. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Andrew, for providing this information. We felt that we had to draft this paper after a request from the last minute session to clarify what Cremario can and cannot do. So now it's on black and white. We had distributed this paper to you in your reading ahead documents, the package. The idea is now tomorrow in the closed session, we will hopefully conclude it. We can talk a bit more then, Andrew, and hopefully conclude it and endorse it. That's the intent. Thank you very much, Andrew, and happy coffee break to everyone. Not yet. Sorry.
I think the director needs a coffee. But before doing so, we need to quickly do the Slidos, which we jumped over the last one. So please put the Slidos. Just quickly. We'll recuperate, no worries, from the break. We'll extend the break. So this is for the question that you have. It's a bit long. It's your organization comfortable with statistics data to be extracted by EU Cremario to improve the uptake of the platform? So please respond to this question if you have access to the web. Okay, we see a majority of 86. Again, the paper will be discussed and hopefully endorsed in the meeting tomorrow, in the meeting of the full members. This is just to give us a flavor of your thoughts. Okay, the next question is, if yes, would your organization like to receive statistical information regarding organization, region, or both? So statistics related to your organization, statistics related to the region, or both. That is the idea. I see quite a big majority wanting to have access to statistics for both the organization and the region. Okay, very good. Next one, please. People need coffee, so let's rush. Next question, coming back to Andrew's paper on Ioris support to live operations. So do you see relevance in EU Crimario supporting you in live operations? A big majority, indeed. Also some no's. This is totally normal. Some organizations don't need. Some organizations need a little bit more. So it's totally up to you. And the last question, I think, if your answer was yes, which areas would you like that to provide Crimario to provide non-directive guidance? Is Crimario not Ioris? Our mistake here. So would you like support in maritime tactics, operational planning, communication structures, MDA, or technical functionality? Okay, you can see how diverse the answers are. Could be on tactics. I see discussions already happening. This is good because it stimulates thought. Okay, so we are good. We just wanted your answers to understand a little bit where you are coming from and how we can tailor our support. Good. Now, before going to break, I want to announce you about the next session. Next session will be a discussion in syndicates. Just a little bit of attention, 1 minute. We'll discuss in syndicates how to enhance regional cooperation using Ioris. So the syndicates will be divided by region. For that, this will be the following distribution. Just follow your regional and country representatives. Latin America will go with Diego in the Crimario Secretariat, which will be just across the hall. Southeast Asia will go to me, will come with me in the next just adjacent to this one. South Asia also here. It's another big room, so we stay together. Here in the room will remain the Roja participants and Western Indian Ocean and Pacific. I don't know, Clifford, he wants to take you somewhere else. So this is the distribution. After coffee break, please come here. We will start directly the work, but I will present you first what we want to do. So basically, these are the guiding questions that we would like you to discuss, if possible, in the syndicates. So what works well in the regional cooperation via Ioris? We are talking about Ioris, right? What areas of improvement should we consider? What could Crimario do to support better the proposed changes that come at point 2? How we can increase the regional coordination by using mainly the community areas? And which community areas would you agree to institutionalize? This aspect of institutionalization will be discussed in the syndicates. It's about you to decide which areas could be formalized to be also presented in our website and to be known as existing. Because most of the community areas we don't know, and it is your prerogative to use the community areas the way you want, okay? So now, because this was supposed to be done before the break, sorry, after the break, we did it now. After the break, you go directly in the syndicates, and then you come back, and each syndicate will report for 3-4 minutes your results of the discussion. Okay? So now it is, what time is now? Sorry, I didn't take my phone. But should be at 20 past. It's good to be going to your syndicates. You can take your coffees with you, your pastries, and continue the break there while discussing. The last point from Terence, very important. The ones who haven't received your reimbursement for the visas, please go to him. Otherwise, it will be difficult to reimburse you after you leave. Thank you so much, and please enjoy the coffee. Martin, the coffee is yours.
We would have to go back to public. It was at 20, that's right? Sí. Dicho es, salí de ahí. ¿Y retro? That's what the message meant. They're giving us.
We'll just grab seats. I'm just going to get my facts.
Just remember where you're from. Also, that's one good.
Yeah, we see.
Three years of argument.
Move around, move around. Most importantly, you don't have to do this. Doing that.
This week we've set with which probably maintain the trust. What we are trying to break down those trust because of our law enforcement agencies so for those what from their perspective the interest met we have Ioris been developed to be part of institutionalized from the top institutional necessarily recognized things that are moving we are discussing this morning with the same view that Ioris would like to have a platform where it's done it's giving us the purpose of having absolutely government right we have what is going We need to appoint somebody.